talked a little bit this offseason now, like this was your chance to get the ball a ton, 25 shots or whatever it was against Alabama. How does it feel for you to know you're getting it that much, that often?
It feels good. Obviously, when you work so hard to put yourself in position to be successful, it's good for that work to finally pay off. Now my focus is on making sure I'm as efficient as possible with the shots that I do get.
Your guys' offense runs you out of the post, but you can also be effective on the short roll.
Yeah.
Is that dependent on what other teams have in, or is it what you guys are doing?
It's a little bit of both. Obviously, I'm doing really well, scoring really well in the post. I don't think it really matters what my matchup is. But typically if there's a bigger guy on me, or we see some other weaknesses, or depending on how they're guarding ball screens, we'll go in the short roll.
It's your third year with Braden and Fletcher. You guys are more experienced. How quickly do you make those changes now on the court compared to maybe last year and the year before?
Really quickly, and I think the biggest thing is just knowing our offensive system, what the coaches want. When you play with great players such as Braden and Fletch, they adjust as well. So it's easy for me.
You've never lost a non-conference game. Is that even a conversation you guys have, or a thought that's in your head?
No, I don't plan on losing any game that I go into. So I don't know. I've been lucky throughout my career. I played on really good teams, so every single game I go into, I expect to win.
Alabama, pretty good test for the kind of game that Marquette's going to play as well. Is there a lot of similarities between those two teams?
Yeah, for sure. They both play really fast. I think the biggest thing that's going to help us is us playing Marquette last year. Their type of style. Again, going to shoot a lot of threes like Alabama, going to play really fast. Even their 5 shoots threes. So it'll be interesting, but I do think that Alabama really prepared us for that.
You guys have a lot of freshmen. This will be their first regular season road game. But how much does that Creighton game and the environment for that help them now, so this won't quite feel like their first one?
It'll be perfect. As you can, even in the Alabama game, you could tell our freshmen when they come in the game, they play really confidently. I don't think that'll be an issue at all, really. I think they'll be prepared as anybody.
Last 2 games, you've ended it at the 5, but you haven't started them. Why has that been what you guys have needed in those ones?
Yeah, it's a game by game basis. Honestly, I think matchup wise, I think that Alabama, it was preferable for me to play the 5 instead of having some more bigger 5s. But I really think it just depends on matchups. I don't think it'll always be that way. But yeah.
With you getting the better of Cliff when you did, and I know they threw a lot of guys at you, but especially with him as a guy that's got the prototypical size at center, how do you think you can beat him? What are your biggest strengths in those kinds of matchups?
Just versus a traditional center?
Like that, yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I have confidence scoring on anybody in the post. That's what I've always done. So I think I'll be, confident and efficient in those types of matchups. I think Cliff's maybe a little bit different, just because he's so athletic. Not a lot of centers are as athletic as he was. I remember specifically, we had a play where I ISO'd from the nail, and I bumped into him to make sure he couldn't block the shot, and he still pinned my shot. And I don't think anybody else in the country is going to make that type of play. So it was interesting, but I think as the game went on, trying to hit him first so he just can't, jump up and block my shot was really helpful. But I do think he's probably one of the better centers that will play athletic-wise.
Yeah, with the non-conference streak, you just, as you go back and look at those games, there's a lot of bye games in there, but then there's also a crazy amount of upsets. Are there any common threads, or do you have any theories about why you guys have had so much success in those games and against those teams just over the years?
I think it's 2 things. I think, first off, our older players, since I've been here, have always done a great job of preparing the younger guys from the get-go. I think a lot of times, especially with the transfer portal, you've got teams that are gelling and trying to mesh together. And when we have so many people that are coming back, as well as experienced guys and younger guys willing to listen, I think we're more of a team than a lot of other teams are right now. I think it's that, and also the coaches making sure our mindset is to go into every game and win. No matter if we're playing Alabama or we're playing, the worst ranked team college basketball. It doesn't matter. Every team that we play has good players. We respect everybody.
Is that kind of mindset prep? Is that different than anything you had in high school and growing up in AAU?
Personally, I've always tried to think that way. It's only helpful for me going into every game. I mean, I've always felt that that's, giving my best is all I could do, and it's going to make me the most successful. So I've always had that, but I think I've never seen a program that stresses that as much as Purdue does. So I think Coach Payne does a great job of that.
How much does playing harder and your effort out there, you've always played hard, but it seems like you're quicker, there's even more effort now, is just from being comfortable and knowing where you are?
Yeah, it's the biggest. For me, that's the biggest thing. Coach Payne always tells me, about that is because I'm a thinker by nature, and so when I can just kind of feel my way through the games and play instinctively, it does allow me to just be quicker and react a lot easier. So I think it comes across as maybe I'm giving a little bit more effort now, but really it's just like you said, I'm just more comfortable in the system and everything that's going on.
Your guys' offense is dangerous on so many different levels. You inside in the post, pick and roll game, shooters everywhere.
Yeah.
Are you guys sensing that with how you're playing?
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of knew. I mean, we knew that. Obviously, Braden and Fletch were some of the top shooters in the country last year. But we always knew Miles was a great shooter, always knew Cam was a good shooter. We knew the new guys that we recruited were all great shooters. And so, when you have that and you have, obviously, a post presence, when you have an incredible point guard like Braden, you're just going to be a really efficient and dangerous team on the offensive end.